Everdell Mistwood. This is your mini review for 2. Good day, my name is Joe. Today I'll be going over Mistwood expansion for Everdell and how it plays. So let's talk about first what you get in the box. You get new animeeples, so you get the pigs, the butterflies, the spiders, and you'll get the meerkats. You also get player powers with them, so little cards displaying the power that you have throughout the game. Super neat. I really like that part about the game when they introduced this in a previous expansion. What you get at the beginning of the game throughout the game is really neat with these little player cards. They introduced seasons, so you take out all the farm cards, and each farm that you put down has a certain season to go along with it. They introduced legendaries, so you have a legendary like this Chipter Swipple can replace the Chip Sweep if you have it. And it's just a 1-to-1 replacement, but the legendary does so much more. There's also Core and Evertail cards, which are just very powerful cards that you're going to see throughout the game. And then one of the biggest things they introduced in this game, and I would say, is the AI. So they give you this, and it's designed for 1 to 2 players, where there's this extra player, Nightweave, who's going to be taking up spots, scoring their own points, having their own AI deck. So that's a really interesting part about this game. So that's kind of the components of this game, and let's see a little bit more what I thought. All right, so first let's go into it. I really like the player powers they give you, for the pigs, the butterflies, the spiders, and the meerkats kind of. And if you're playing with 1 or 2 players and you're playing with one of these expansions, you won't be able to play with the spiders because Nightweave's going to kind of take it up. But I like the player powers in this game. I think it's really gives an extra layer of depth. The legendary powers, you get a construction and you get a creature. That's kind of hit or miss for me because I call this the Everdell syndrome. You don't see every card every game. Like this last game, I had the wife out here for the longest time, and I just could not find a husband. It's very hard to always see the card you want and be predictable about this game. But it's kind of neat if you get a card in your city that this legend can replace. It really upgrades that card, and just neat to kind of have, just an extra goal to have in this game. The Core and Evertail cards, really neat, just kind of added within the game. The farms were kind of hit or miss for us. We didn't really care for the farm mechanic, how they changed for the different seasons. For us, that's one of those things we'll probably keep just the standard farms throughout the game. It was just something more to keep track of in this game, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But the main part about this game, the main reason you would buy or you would play Mistwood is for Nightweave, in my opinion. And this is a 1 to 2 player module. So you can play with as many modules as you want to, but this is a separate module, and it's really an AI for another character. So really, we were playing with 3 characters. They put their the spider meeples out. They were taking up spots. They were scoring their points. They were taking basic events. They were taking special events. They were taking cards that we were seeing, taking up spots, going through and doing their part of the season too. And it was really kind of interesting. It added a new layer to the game. It did, however, add a lot of time to the game. So it didn't add a ton of time. You flip over a card, you do what it says, but you always have to remember, in a 2-person game, I'm used to being like, all right, you go, I go, really quick. Then we have to go, well, you go, I go, Nightweave goes. You go, I go, Nightweave. So it just adds a little extra for 2 players. I liked it, but it did add some overhead to the game. My one kind of quibble about Nightweave is it took a lot of the basic events and special events before we even had a chance to really get going. Nightweave prepared for autumn, and we were still in barely preparing for spring. So we're talking Nightweave was really chugging through, and the last couple times we've played, we've really they've just outpaced us. So they grabbed a lot of the events, as we were kind of building our engine, if you will, in summer, or the first winter, I'm sorry. You really want to get those green cards, because you get, green card, it activates when you put it in the city, then you get it on the, preparing for spring. You really want to maximize that first winter time, in the preparing for the spring, where Nightweave doesn't care. Just gonna put stuff out there, take its points, take its things, move back, and prepare again with more spiders. So definitely a neat expansion. Adds an AI. There's 5 levels of difficulty in Nightweave, which is really neat, and they give you a lot of different ways to play. Some of these are brutal, some of these are game-changing, but this is more overhead. Plot decks for Nightweaves, plans that Nightweave wants to do, personalities for the other player, just extra overhead that you have to remember throughout the game, where you may not be able to take certain cards, or you can only go to this place if you pay something or pay Nightweave a point. So definitely good for the 1 to 2 player market, who wants that AI, who wants that little puzzly thinking, or and acting like an opponent. So overall, I'm just going to get into it. I like this expansion, but I would not get this expansion if you play 3 or 4 players. It just doesn't quite add the oomph. To me, this expansion really is for the solo and the 2-player gamers who want that extra little feel of the third person or second person. And overall, it's a good expansion. We're getting to the point, we have Newleaf, we have Mistwood. The overhead is starting to get real. So it's straying away from just the straightforward Everdell city building to, all right, what do I have to think about this time? So we really enjoyed the game, but just you need to enjoy Everdell and know you're getting yourself into that extra player if you really want to get the most out of this box. So we really enjoyed the game. It's not for everyone, and you do have to enjoy Everdell to want to get this. It doesn't change the game in a drastic way, other than maybe adding that extra player. So kind of try to keep this review short, and hope you guys have a good one. Until next time.